Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? I do think that worked, but I'm sitting on the wrong side.
Are you?
This is impossible. I always sit on the left side. I don't know how I could possibly function on the right side, but I will deal with it. I will do my best. So, Gina Ricci, let's get this started.
Your certainty
yes, my certainty is disrupted, as if my certainty isn't disrupted enough. Yes, Gina, let's do this thing.
What are we all doing here today?
Gina, I thought you knew. What the hell am I doing here? I don't even know. Who are these people? What's happening? No. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It is Mastery Monday, and we're playing with the superpower of integrous influence. We couldn't be more grateful that you're here. We call this the heart of influence. Not hyperbolic, not light, not silly, although we'll have some fun and we'll laugh for sure. But what's at stake is our marketing, selling, managing, leading, recruiting, fundraising, for profit, not for profit, all of those beautiful things. And I started learning this, 25 years ago when I came out of law school working for a giant law firm, broke, going blind, $100,000 in debt. I really quickly realized that nobody was coming to rescue me. And that the idea of being helped personally, professionally, financially for growth, that wasn't happening. And this is what I've learned over 25 years. Truly extraordinary. We play with the superpower, have a lot of fun. The context isn't even beginning to be unfolded, but let's go get it. Gina, who's here today?
First up, Sean Callaghy, Bella, and everyone from joining us right now from Yardley, but from practice in Princeton as well, partner at Hill Wallack, practicing trust estates in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And he concentrates his practice on estate and trust planning, administration, and taxation, presented also for the National Association of CLE and New Jersey Society of CPAs. Let's all please welcome Robert Stewart to the heart of influence.
Thank you. Wow.
Robert.
Details important.
Yeah, Robert, holy acronyms, Batman. There's a lot of acronyms flying around. You've done a lot of cool stuff, and you may be the king of all acronyms. So, Robert, awesome. Please, we always say, well, I like to get it going with a little bit of fun. So we say, what's a fun fact? Something that maybe your most proud moment, most unique moment, heck, could be your most embarrassing moment, but something that when you're done, we go, Robert, really? No way. So what's your fun fact, please?
Before I became a lawyer, which I did not do until I was 30, I spent 5 years as a lifeguard on the beaches of South Jersey, where I developed tremendous empathy for actually nothing. We just had a good time.
That's amazing. I love this, Robert. And where were you lifeguarding?
Pardon me?
Where were you lifeguarding?
North Wildwood, New Jersey.
Beautiful. That is absolutely extraordinary. Well,
Southern tip of this gorgeous state.
Oh my God. Dolphins abound and all the beautiful things. We're actually on Long Beach Island, New Jersey. In fact, about an hour and a half ago, we were surfing with some skates and the waves and all the things. So we have
I still have my wet surfer hair.
yeah, so we have a cool stud lifeguard dude who's on here
That's
today.
fun.
So Robert, what's your mission, vision, purpose besides being cool, wearing shades and hanging out on the beach?
Lately, a little too old. I did a lot of surfing throughout my
very
aquatic career. A couple trips to Mexico, California. And Mexico, not the day, it was pre-internet. So we had no clue what we were doing. So anyway, have transitioned to sailing, kind of less, but still on the water.
Love sailing.
Still having lots of fun. So.
Well, awesome. And well, we appreciate you being here today, Robert, very, very much. You ready to have some fun today?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Gina, who else? Oh, you know what? Let me introduce this one who's seated to my left with her surfer girl hair. This extraordinary woman, the co-host of the show, started selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old. You know, talk about the superpower of influence. That's not easy. Then she moved on doing something even harder. She became a top earner in the space of network marketing. Not putting it down. That's hard. But as a 19-year-old, imagine that. You have to see those videos someday. And then by the time she's 24 years old, in a male-dominated industry, in a very tough environment, the state of Nevada, she became Nevada's #1 business broker, the youngest age ever to do it, 24, first woman ever to do it. And now, I don't know, she runs around stages across the world, Belgium, I don't know, all over the US. You know, maybe we'll drop into Central America somewhere and get lost. All of the beautiful things causing businesses to grow and accelerate. In fact, every business she worked with in 2019 doubled their growth and sales. The one, the only co-host of The Real Raw, Bella Burrito. Let's hear for Bella. The fun fact.
My fun fact is I surfed 2 waves today.
That's extraordinary.
Like I actually got up on the board and like rode some waves in.
Yes, you did. And
good for you.
Excellent.
Pre-break waves.
Yes, pre-break.
Not just the white water, pre-break waves. So you're like a surfer dudette.
Yeah, I'm a surfer dudette. I can like, you know, now I can teach you a thing or two.
Yes, yeah, I could use your help. I'd very much appreciate it. So Gina, we got surfers. Who else do we have?
Joining us from Clark, New Jersey, this woman is building the family law division at her current firm, applying to be on various bar association committees, especially the State Bar Ethics, and volunteers as a panelist for the Early Settlement Panel Program and the Battered Women's Legal Advocacy Project. Let's all give it up for Jessica Swenson.
Jessica, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully and grateful for you being here. And how about a fun fact, Jessica?
Fun fact. So I'll give you 2. I don't know how fun they are. I am currently training for a half marathon.
Ooh,
that's fun.
That's fun.
I am obsessed with listening to murder podcasts.
No way.
Whoa.
Sort of like the Dateline, like all that stuff, and
All of that. Yep. There's hundreds of thousands of them now.
Yes, we call it murder TV in our household, and my mom loves that stuff to no end. So congratulations on the dopamine-filled world of the mystical and crazy. My counter fun fact is that MSNBC American Greed, which is like a cousin of those shows, Scott Rothstein, the largest Ponzi schemer in the history of South Florida, billion-dollar Ponzi schemer. I was the first guy to report to the FBI. I was in his office. He wanted $8 million from my client. He already taken $1 billion. He had already blown out the birthday candles on Governor Christ of Florida's birthday cake. Was right behind John McCain when he was campaigning in Florida. It's not a political statement, just the reality. So that is my love for reality shows. As Scott Rothstein is now serving 45 years in federal prison. And actually, believe it or not, almost everybody got their money back. A lawsuit was filed against the bank that they said was sort of in cahoots, major bank, I won't say their name, and the bank ended up footing the bill and virtually everyone got their money back.
Wow.
So pretty crazy.
That's impressive.
Yes. So that's awesome, Jessica. And may I ask this, the battered woman part, the stand for people, where does that come from and what's behind that?
So that's a program that is operated out of Morris County, and you take a week course when you're an attorney if you want to participate. And I volunteer, depending on the availability in the calendar, 4 to 6 times a year for victims of domestic violence, and they get a lawyer at no cost, and we will litigate their domestic violence case for them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that work, Jessica. That is an unbelievably complex system in our wonderful but imperfect justice system. And I'm sure you could teach so much more than I would even begin to know about all the things that go on, but it is clearly present that the economic differentials for people create extraordinarily different results and horrible outcomes. In fact, one of the incredible women in our unblinded elite program, her name is Jacqueline Franchetti. You may have heard of her. Jacqueline has recently passed parts of Kira's Law, I believe in the state of New York, and Jacqueline is on a mission to pass this law to protect children in situations of domestic violence. And Jacqueline's daughter was murdered by her ex-husband, who then committed suicide. And so this issue is near and dear to our unblinded heart. Jacqueline's going to be running a press conference to announce some very successful breakthroughs and speaking at it. It got rescheduled, I think, to September, something like that. But Jacqueline's an extraordinary human being. So thank you for all of your beautiful work in the world to keep people safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. And, by the way, are you familiar with Kira's Law, or is this something you've heard of or no?
I have.
Okay, got it. So the silence is interesting. So I leave the silence there. So thank you for that, Jessica. Gina, where are we going?
Going to Queens, New York now. She's an agent at Symmetry Financial Group, specializing in mortgage protection, life, disability, accident, sickness insurance. Let's all please welcome Anna Maternia to the Heart of Influence.
Anna, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for being here. What's your fun fact, Anna?
I used to model.
That's fun. Amazing. And what was your favorite part or least favorite part about modeling?
The runway.
Guys, right? It could get a little bit complicated. That runway could be long. You get tired walking on the runway. It could be very exhausting.
Yes, it could be definitely exhausting.
Yeah. And Anna, what's your mission, vision, purpose in the world these days?
Mission. I guess to influence more lives. I have kids, so I try to be a good role model.
Beautiful, right? Anna being a role model in the world.
There you go.
Retired from the runway.
I'm telling you what.
Gina, we got.
I think you took her place.
Gina, we got lifeguards. We got models. Who else is here?
Joining us from New York, New York. Currently from his car. We're almost ready to unmute you, Joshua. He's an investment advisor with a background in programming. Senior VP with nearly 20 years experience in the tech industry, private equity offerings, and alternative investments inland. Let's all please welcome Joshua Van Dress to the Heart of Influence.
Joshua, how are you?
Joshua's having some muting challenges. Maybe we can give him some support.
If he comes back, if we get him unmuted, let's get him some support. Who else do we have? Gina.
Joining us from Pine Brook, New Jersey, he's a member at Cole Schatz, a 300-person law firm in corporate finance business transactions department, frequently requested as the outside in-house counsel to companies of all sizes. And Sean Calgie, he's magna cum laude and Order of the Coif from Seton Hall University School of Law. Let's all please welcome Joe Armenti to the Heart of Influence. Woo!
How are you, Joe?
I'm doing well. So the modeling thing didn't work out for me. Until something comes through, maybe Anna, you can make a connection. But until then, I'm a corporate M&A lawyer.
Perfect, Joe.
I'm photographer now, so.
So by the way, Joe, congratulations on all of your academic success and other success. And fun footnote, my son is starting Seton Hall Law School in about 2 weeks. Yeah, so be joining the Pirates of Law. And what's the mission, Joe, now? Like, what are you up to in the world?
What am I up to in the world? One thing, I always take a moment to plug what I'm doing for my charity, which is I'm on the New Jersey board of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Cystic fibrosis being a lung disease. Right now, we're spearheading an event called Sports Challenge at MetLife Stadium in September. It's a team-based, kind of an adult field day. So if anyone has interest, let me know. We'll set you up and we can compete. Very friendly, very nice, but still, you know.
I'll take you on at field day.
Oh my God, Joe, please. Joe, I'm hearing a beautiful cause. I'm hearing some fun competitive energy. Where did you grow up, Joe?
I grew up right here in Montville, New Jersey, born and raised. And then I met my wife. She's from Maryland. I wanted to leave and she said, no, we're staying in New Jersey, exactly where you are. So,
oh, amazing. So Montville, right?
Montville, not Montvale, Montville.
Yep, I know that. Yep, got the distinction. Just want to make sure I heard it correctly. Awesome, Montville. Thanks for being here. Congratulations on all you're doing with cystic fibrosis. And when is the event again, Joe?
September 24th.
Beautiful. September 24th. Joe's rocking it. Let's do the thing. Gina, we love you. Mwah. We'll see you from the multiverse shortly.
Ciao for now. Before we get this party started, Sean, I want to introduce my co-host because he is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, speaks all over the place. Just a couple of weeks ago, raised $2.6 million in a room where they hope that they raised like 200,000, raised $2.6 million for refugees in Ukraine, and follow that up with like stages such as, I don't know, Tomorrowland last week, got to speak in front of 3,500 people, the broadcast all over the place. My co-host, Sean Callaghy.
Oh, me.
And other than being the greatest surf instructor that has ever lived or walked the planet, what else is your fun fact, Sean Callaghy?
My fun fact is that I am far worse at many things than the things I am good at. So that'll be my fun fact for today. I have never actually done a load of laundry. I didn't grow up with any money, by the way, so I don't know how I avoid that. My mom took care of the laundry as an unbelievable mom. I've never cooked a meal in my own home, and I've never mowed a lawn. So those are my 3 fun facts. And I grew up with no money. So I worked in a perfume factory in high school. I delivered pizza, but I never mowed a lawn. I've never cooked a meal in my own home, and I've never used a washing machine.
So that is a pretty fun fact.
Those would be my 3 fun facts for today. So let's do the things.
Let's
so
do
who's
the
going
things.
first?
Let's start with Jessica.
Jessica, this is how this works. So hello to yes is how all of life works. Not oppressive, pitching, hooking, closing yes, but heart-centered, integrous yes. We all have different perspectives, but how can we create alignment, open the listening of people, and do the things so we don't end up in this crazy world of division and attacking and negativity, but instead realize that at the end of the day, we all kind of want the same things, and then we generate yeses integrously. So Bella will be anybody you want her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be somebody you want to make a charitable donation. She could be somebody you want to put on a joint event with. Whatever a yes that would matter to you in the world, Jessica, Bella will play that avatar. So Jessica, please, who would you like Bella to be?
This would, I guess, as a potential referral source, some of my best referral sources are other attorneys.
Nice.
Who don't practice in their firm with matrimonial or family law attorneys, or perhaps practice in New York, are not barred in New Jersey, and need to make referrals on matrimonial.
Right. How about this? You are a drug cartel criminal defense attorney at a major New Jersey law firm, and you're having a beautiful conversation with Jessica. Take us in.
Fantastic. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. How are you? I'm Jessica Swenson.
Hi, Jessica. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you as well. So
what can I do for you today?
I'm a family law attorney, and I just opened up a department at a civil litigation firm in North Jersey.
Oh, what department did you cut out for a quick second?
A family and matrimonial department.
Okay, that's what I thought you said, but.
And I'm looking to make some connections with other attorneys who don't enjoy practicing, or their niche is not family and matrimonial law, where they can make some referrals to me, and I can likewise make some referrals back to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of family law attorneys that we work with already. What had you reach out to me?
Reached out to you just because I thought that your practice area could potentially be, you know, if you know, a lot of clients who are in the drug cartel business perhaps don't want to be married any longer. Perhaps there's issues of domestic violence in that area. So it might be, you know, a similar.
So you know, as you well know, you know, some of my clients are high profile underground, and you know, so I need to know, you know, that they're in the right hands.
Of course, and you know, one of the things that my department prides itself on is being discreet. And we have a number of high profile clients, high net worth clients, and there's ways in which that we can handle those matters that are not necessarily going to bring them any unwanted attention.
Yeah, because that is most important. You know, everything's got to be, you know, very hush hush. You know, this can't be, you know, an attorney that wants to make a name for themselves off my clients.
Of course not. And we never disclose our clients' names to the public or anything like that. And we've signed a number of NDAs when the matter, you know, calls for it.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, it's all ultimately going to be up to my clients, but possibly, you know, we could add you to our list, and you know, if they feel like you'd be a good fit, they can reach out.
That would be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Great job. And we have Joshua who's back.
What do you know? It works.
Welcome, Joshua. We got Joshua, Sean.
I love that. How you doing, Joshua?
I wasn't going to give up, man. How are you? Nice to meet you.
You're extraordinary. Nice to meet you. Thanks for sticking with it all. And what's a fun fact about you? Something that, you know, we'd be like, Joshua, no way.
I'm from Ohio originally, and I've been playing the saxophone since I was 10.
Whoa.
Never meant to be a financial advisor. Never meant to be a programmer. I wanted to play like Charlie Parker. So I left my house, got on the highway, and walked my butt to New York. And I played in Washington Square Park, did a Foot Locker commercial, and thus the rest is history.
He's fun.
He is. Joshua's super fun. Thank you so much for being here, Joshua. You ready to have some fun with us here today?
Absolutely. Let's do it, man. Sorry for the lateness.
No worries. Thank you for all the technical challenges and making it through.
Yes.
Who's going next?
All right. Next up, we have Robert.
Robert, please. Who would you like Bella to be?
How about being an accountant?
Ooh. She likes money.
Let's go. I like counting numbers. Hello, this is Bella.
This is Bob Stewart. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Bob. What can I do for you today?
Well, my referral sources, one of the best referral sources for me, are accountants. And my favorite longtime accountant that we've done a lot of business together is retiring. And I'm auditioning for a new person. So
you're auditioning, huh? So what are you looking for, an accountant? How did you get my contact information, and why call me?
But you're already famous, so I thought I'd start at the top rather than at the bottom. But
well, that's very smart of you, Bob.
So have you ever referred one of your clients to an attorney for estate work?
Of course.
That is very good news. I like that.
Yes.
How do you feel about doing that? Comfortable with it?
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable with it. You know, I think it's important to, you know, help my clients, and their planning is a very important part of, you know, what they do with their money.
Yeah. My experience with accountants have been they're pretty careful about everything, including making a referral to me or any attorney for anything. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be just estates work. It could be a DUI, which is horrific. It could be a family law matter. And in my experience, it's taken a while for me to develop a relationship where there's enough trust.
Yes.
I come to these relationships with pretty good credentials, pretty good track record, but the person doesn't know me and I don't know them.
Yeah. So what makes you think that we would be a great fit?
Don't know yet. Don't know yet. Have to talk to you more, maybe meet you, and see if there's anything going between us that we have. A lot of times I'll meet somebody and I'll know that this is somebody I want to meet again, get to know better. Other times it's we're going to move on. This is not something that's going to be good for either of us. So
Got it. So where would you like to go from here, Bob? I got like 20 seconds left where I got to go.
Like to come visit you at your office. Can you squeeze me in for 10 or 15 minutes just to meet in person, face to face?
If you bring some donuts, you can definitely come to the office.
I think I can manage that.
All right. Great job, Bob.
Good job,
All
Bob.
right.
French crullers, please. Perfect. So,
Ooh.
Bob, is it
There you go.
Bob or Robert?
You said Bob when you introduced yourself, but it says Robert on the screen. So which do you prefer?
You can stick with Robert. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Jessica. Great job. Let's see what the judges have to say.
All right. Let's start with Joe and then Joshua and Anna. Now, what this looks like is this is 30 seconds of feedback for Jessica and then Robert. Something that they did great, something that, maybe they could optimize, and then a score of 1 to 10. 1 being you would rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation. 5 being, if they bought you one of those like mocha choca lattes with the caramel sauce from Starbucks, you might meet them at Starbucks for a cup of coffee. And 10 being, you would rent a private jet and fly anywhere in the world just to have a longer conversation. So Joe, let's start with your 30 seconds of feedback for Jessica.
Sure. What I thought both of you did, well, I can lump them together if that's all right. What I thought both of you did wonderfully was you kind of cut right to it. You said this is a business call. This is kind of what I'm looking for. I think what maybe could be improved upon, and maybe this is a bit stylistic, but I needed a bit of a personal hook for why do I care about you? Do you have kids? Where are you? A little bit more, but that might just be my style.
Yeah, and what's your score for Jessica?
My score for Jessica would be a 7, and I think I also score Robert as a 7 as well.
Okay, and what was your feedback for Robert?
He was saying let's lump them together.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it's your
Okay.
excellent job, Joe. Thank you.
All right, let's go with Joshua. How about let's start with Robert, your 30 seconds of feedback for Robert.
I never judge a person by the first statements that they make because I don't know them as a human being. Mankind, I use money as a tool, not as an end all. It's a tool for peace of mind, governing, whatever the case is. I didn't really hear the why. Why does Robert exist? What's his passions on getting to know people and the reasons for wanting those referrals? Will his belief systems match up with the others of those clients? Therefore, those clients will stay with him for the long run. It's not about money. Money's just a tool, man.
And what was your score for Robert, Joshua?
A 5.
A 5. Awesome. And then how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jessica?
I heard a little bit of Jessica because I just finally got my audio to work, to be fair. So I think it would be unfair for me to make that comment at this time.
Oh, thank you for your integrity, Joshua. Look at this guy.
All right.
Excellent, Joshua. Yes.
And our former runway model, Anna, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jessica? Oh, Anna, are you there?
I will give her.
I think Anna's stuck in frozen.
Let's see.
She was funny. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. We couldn't. So yeah, get restarted because we
Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, I
There
moved.
we go.
Yes, so I'm gonna give Jessica 8. She was funny. 8.
Oh,
And
definitely.
Robert also 8.
Nice. Another 8. Are you still, Anna, you there? Let's see if we
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, and what did you have for Robert? I'm sorry.
8, also 8.
Nice. And what are you basing your 8 for Robert on?
It was interesting.
Nice. Robert's interesting.
He's interesting.
Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna go take a nap.
Can I make things a little more interesting around here?
Sure.
So this is my favorite part of the show because, you know, Jessica was here in the hot seat. Robert was here in the hot seat. Didn't maybe know what they were going from hello to yes on. So now it's my turn to turn the tables a little bit and put you in the hot seat. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So what this looks like, everyone, is someone here is going to get to set a scenario that Sean has to go from hello to yes on. So it could be, you know, getting a client like Robert and or Jessica did, or it could be something political. Sean has been President Biden, President Trump, having to convince, you know, one or the other of something. Even had to be President Vladimir.
Yeah.
To convince President Putin to stop the war. Anything. My personal favorite, when Sean had to convince a very conservative New Jersey attorney on why he should go to Burning Man.
Yeah, and I went to something like Burning Man, and it wasn't the nightmare I thought it would be to go to Tomorrowland.
Yeah, but it really wasn't anything like Burning Man, because at Burning Man they don't have skyboxes that are 3 levels up that people escort you to. Then everything is like clean and people are serving you. That doesn't happen at Burning Man. So,
well, in our version of Burning Man.
Yes, your version of Burning Man. All right. So how about you choose a number between 1 and 5?
Let's go 1.
Let's go 1. That would be Mr. Robert.
Whoa. Okay.
So Robert, you get to set the scenario for Sean, or you could pass it to some, yes, or you could pass it to somebody else if you don't feel like setting that yourself. Which do you prefer?
I'd like to take a shot at this. Sure.
Let's go. I knew Robert was the guy. He's gonna come up with something good. What you got, Robert?
Sean.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to convince, persuade, however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
The mayor of a major city to implement a preschool program in a borough or area that has one, or I'm sorry, doesn't have one and needs one.
Ooh, interesting. That is what we had 550 shows now of the Real Raw, formerly now the Heart of Influence, more than 3,500 people on, and this is one of the most interesting scenarios.
Yes. Is this something that is passionate to you, Robert?
I live in a big city, Philadelphia. We've had many excellent mayors, some not so great. And I'm an advocate for education and particularly preschool. So
beautiful.
I'm hoping to
And
learn
Robert,
something.
would you like to play the mayor, or would you like to assign somebody here to play the mayor?
Somebody else play the mayor. How's that?
And who would you like to voluntold?
Well, we got a lot of lawyers here, so Joe.
All right, Mayor Joe.
Be tough.
Do you accept your assignment, Joe?
Sure.
All right. So, Mayor Joe, I'm very grateful that you took these just a couple of minutes to have a conversation. I really appreciate that. And is it still a good time for you, Mayor Joe?
It's not in particular, but I guess I have a few minutes.
Okay, great. And listen, I wouldn't want to put you on the spot. So if there's a better time to reschedule, I will be happy to, because I can hear the stress in your voice. I know there's a lot going on that you got to deal with. So, you know, again, I'm very happy to reschedule if it doesn't work for you.
No, you're here. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay. So can I say this, you know, Mayor Joe, what prompted you to take this call in the first place?
Well, I guess you set something up, and I keep my appointments. I don't really know exactly what the call is about, so putting it to you to make my time worth it.
Yeah, awesome. And is this something, so you knew nothing about, one of your aides put it on, or did you actually approve the call? Because I don't want to waste your time. I just want to be as efficient as possible.
All I know is that he wanted to talk about preschools or something like that, and I said it was fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mayor Joe. So can I ask you this? And again, we'll be efficient. We'll be done. And I'll ask you one simple question at the end. So Mayor Joe, why are you mayor? You know, it's a million things going on, a ton of headaches. I can feel the pace, the stress, the dynamic. It's a thankless job in a million different ways. What causes you to want to do this job, Mayor Joe?
Well, I care about the people, and that's my number one priority. And the people who voted for me know that.
Yeah. And how do you keep yourself going though? You know, with all the stuff, you know, do you ever feel like, hey, I should just mail it in, be done? Like, what prompts you to keep wanting to serve and caring about people?
Well, frankly, every day I walk to my office. I don't ride a car. I walk, and I'm with the people. And every day I walk down the street to my office, and I see the people who need me. And that's frankly what keeps me going. When I see those people going to their jobs, going to their families, I see that they need the infrastructure and the support that my administration can provide.
No, I mean, that hits me. Your energy hits me with absolute certainty and from your heart. And thank you for that. And Mayor Joe, what's your ultimate vision? You know, like, how do you know that you've done the job when your time is complete as mayor?
That's a big question. I don't know that I have all the answers, but I guess one indicator would be people are happy.
Beautiful. Well, Mayor Joe, I'm hearing heart, I'm hearing commitment, I'm hearing pace, I'm hearing energy. And so I'll be super direct as well, if it's okay. Would it be all right if I shared a little bit about what I'm thinking?
Sure.
Yeah. So Mayor Joe, we don't have preschool programs in our city that support people in the way they need to. And I have a plan and program that will blow away you and your super directness, because it's going to serve and support people in a way that is beyond comprehension. There'll be additional funding. I understand that, right? You're talking about new teachers and additional pieces and parts. But one of the greatest challenges that we have in this city and many major cities across the country is the reality that parents have such an extraordinary time, particularly single parents, in having their children cared for. And that safety of children as a backbone and foundational piece creates a future for a city that is incredibly different. You and I both know, and I have a number of studies to cite that show that trauma, neglect that befalls children in their early childhood leads to extraordinarily negative behavior later in life. We live in a world we want to blame adults for all their behaviors and conduct, which is understandable. At the same time, there is irrefutable statistical evidence that how children are raised has an insanely direct correlation to what ultimately happens. So I know we're at time, but if any of my energy, any of my thoughts resonate with you, this program will be cost effective. You're not going to beat it. And it's going to have pieces and parts that actually not only solves problem for children in preschool, but has components that create better parenting overall, which I think is also a vital piece for the city. So if any of this resonates with you, Mayor, I'd be honored to have a longer conversation with you or somebody in your team for 30 minutes to lay out the cost, the effectiveness, the efficiency, which I think will blow your mind. You know, sir, how does this resonate with you or not?
Well, it sounds like a particularly large undertaking, and I see a lot of dollar signs, but if you're willing to work with a member of my team, I suppose we can keep the conversation going.
I appreciate that, Mayor. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Out of roll. All right, Mayor Joe, how do we do?
I almost, you were exceedingly polite, which was very helpful to keeping the conversation going. You recognized the stresses on a mayor, and kind of played to that, which was helpful. So that way you can kind of make your pitch. And once you have that pitch going, it wasn't an immediate ask. It wasn't something you wanted me to do for you in the imminent future. You just wanted to have a conversation and keep it going. And I think that's what sold me. So.
Well, thank you, Mayor Joe. Robert, how do we do in advancing this plan?
Well, Mayor Joe did an awesome job. I don't know how big your city town is where you live, but you have a real sense of big city issues. So great job. Sean, you were pretty good too. But
thank you.
No, I would echo actually what Joe said. It was the time you spent getting to know Mayor Joe a little bit, understanding, getting him to tell you about himself and his beliefs and commitments and why he does what he does. So did it beautifully. And I think the idea of just getting that next opportunity to first see if there's any interest, which enough was there to have that next conversation with whomever in the administration makes sense. So you got the job done. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And Robert, great scenario, beautiful heart, and Joe rocked it. One of the things that we talk about are micro yeses. So often we get so fearful of rejection and failure, we get caught up in ourselves that we just want to like get it out and jump out of the plane and jump off the cliff and like, so this is what I want to do. What do you think? And it's just way too much too soon. It's not how normal human relationships develop and accelerate. In every friendship, business partnership, romantic relationship, there's a sequencing of micro yeses. There's a first question. There's a next question. There's a next shared experience. There's a first shared experience. And when we move into the things that we care so passionately about as human beings, we so often jump over all of those normalcies and become these sort of robotic creatures that forget the normal progressions of how human beings relate. So that's one of the foundational principles of this show. And I thank you for being here. Beautiful scenario, Robert. How was your time, Robert, today with us on the Real Raw?
I'm good. So.
Yeah, no, I was saying, how was your experience today?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm intrigued. I think I do some of that, but not as much as I should or could. So pretty good learner and a half decent listener. So I liked it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And what we talk about, just to be, heart-centered, direct and real, is we believe all results come from, in our money, our time, and our magic, the superpower of integrous influence, what we do with it, and how we get ourselves to use it. And these are not things I knew or understood. I failed freshman high school geometry for the year. I ran for class president in 7th grade and got 2 votes, and maybe my girlfriend lied and didn't vote for me. So I don't believe that these are innate, inherent characteristics. They're mechanisms of learning, just like golfing, just like baking, just like doing the laundry or mowing the lawn, and all those beautiful and unbelievable things. So Robert, thank you for jumping in, the participant seat, very courageous of you, and for setting the scenario and being here today. So great job, Robert.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank
Sean,
you.
do you mind if I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you like.
All right. Joe, in this scenario, is the mayor, right?
Yes.
So would it be more prudent from Joe's standpoint, hey, Joe, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I think if you're up for re-election, this is a slam dunk. I'd like you to hear me out for 30 seconds and see if this would go along with your voter population.
I love the thought, and that certainly could have been moved into the conversation. We teach this 4 steps, 12 indispensable elements of 4 energies to all human influence. I never, ever tell anybody what I think is going to help them or what they're going to value until I understand first what they value. So you could presume, right? Even if I could presume it, I'm never going to presume it until they tell me first. So we talk about the 5 categories of rapport building questions. Where have you been? Where are you? Where are you going? What's working? What are the challenges? And in a 3-minute conversation, you don't have time to move into all 5 of those categories at all. But the idea of what's your ultimate vision, that will be the 3rd of the 5 categories of rapport building, creates, if you re-listen to this, because this is, it'll be posted online. If you re-listen to it, Joe, who obviously is in a role play, is like all ready to be like tough mayor guy, and beautifully, I loved what Joe was doing. But when the questions, by the second question of like, what's your vision? Why do you do this? He dropped into his heart, and he was talking about walking amongst the people and caring about the people, walking to work. And all of a sudden, even in the role play, Joe is now in his heart, not in his head. So what I would caution against is saying, hey, so I tell you what, I think I'm going to help you out this way. What do you think? We're head to head still. We're not heart to heart, right? Because we're still talking about a tangible benefit. Does that make sense, Joshua?
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, but I love what you said, and it's a beautiful optimization. If when I spoke, I would have added what you said. right? Same exact way, and maybe an extra sentence, beautiful innovation, where if I would have then said to Joe, so da, 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 all things said, and listen, and, Mr. Mayor, I'm presuming that you'd like to be reelected. I think this could be something really strong and integriously, like that would have been a beautiful extra sentence to add in. Concept, I completely agree with you. I just where it goes in sequencing. Make sense?
Yeah, because I just was having so many difficulties, as Bella knows, just trying to get in on time. So I wasn't really able to introduce myself or anything. And I don't know if I have time for my why now or not, or if that's better for another time. That's absolutely fine, but it's been wonderful being able to get to meet everyone so far.
Yeah, beautiful. That's Joshua.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. Sure, we're gonna come back to that in once. So thank you for it. So let's do it right now. So what is your why, Joshua? Why do you do what you do?
I am a financial advisor, but before I was a financial advisor, I've been programming. I'm certified in over 18 different software languages. So what I am trying to do, the industry's broken from a financial standpoint. People back test data on companies they do not own. So my why is to listen to people, not their money, not what they want their money to do, but listen to the human being that's in front of me and say, okay, well, how many kids do you have? Get to know their kids. What are they like for fun? And know them on a human level and use forward guidance. So if you were buying C3 AI, obviously that's a very big deal coming up in the industry. And I think it's pretty pathetic that 90% of the industry looks at back-tested data on a company that just went public. What do you care what it did? It doesn't matter. You don't own it. So my reason for being and belief is it may not happen in my lifetime, but I'll work whatever I got to make sure that it does, to get people to realize if an advisor knows you at the human level, on a human basis, real, then from that point, especially for me in technology, it's a nanosecond world. You and I, all of us are talking, and if you think about the bandwidth that takes up, it's instantaneously now. Yeah. So it's my vision to be able to interpret that data in forward looking so that people's accounts don't blow up. And then I just go, oops, sorry. I could see that coming.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So thank you, Joshua, for being here. Oprah Winfrey said she held the microphone for 30,000 human beings, had every statistical disadvantage imaginable, and became a multi-billionaire. Her words, because she said, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. We call it level 5 listening. Level 5 listening, when it's at play, similar to what we talked about with Joe, the mayor, in a very brief instant, deep seeing, acknowledgement, validation. When people receive that, first of all, it's an incredible gift because most people don't get that listening from anybody. And when it does, it settles, creates safety, trust, and opens listening in a new and different way. So Joshua, congratulations on being on that path. And thank you for being here today.
Well, I appreciate it, and I hope to be on often and on more.
Well, thank you. And Jessica, thank you so much for being here, for your work in the world as a stand for domestic violence. I don't want to use the word victims, but people who suffer from domestic violence in any single way. And your beautiful work. How was your time today on the Heart of Influence today, Jessica?
It was great. Very, very interesting. I think a lot of times, especially as attorneys, because we're not taught in law school to be business people, you get caught up in the day-to-day practicing and you lose or you forget the importance of making those connections and how that can be used to grow your business, because you're so caught up in just the grind and getting the work done. So it's very refreshing to be able to, spend this time and, learn things and have things kind of reignited.
Yeah. Well, Jessica, if I could deliver this, because thank you for saying that. I want to make your time even more valuable in this moment. That if we think about what creates the acceleration of business, we're talking about the distinction between being a business operator, where we're working within the business, versus being a business owner, we're working on the business. And the most important vital mechanism, Peter Drucker, the greatest management consultant in history, not by my words, recognized by Harvard, to more, personal development coaching, style people, but every major institution in the world recognizes him as sort of the father of all business consulting and concept, says business is nothing more than marketing and innovation. And that doesn't mean, marketing doesn't mean frivolous, fraudulent, negative. It means getting our message out there integriously to other humans. And the more that we're able to create platforms where we communicate regularly and consistently with people we do not know, to create 3 different types of relationships. 3. One is client relationship. That's wonderful. Second is a speaking opportunity in front of an audience of ideal avatar. So what would it look like, Jessica, if you're speaking to groups of therapists? What does it look like if you're speaking to groups of financial services providers or accountants that could become tremendous referral sources? The third is to create ecosystem partnerships where you're actually partnering with people to assemble audiences of your ideal avatars. And that's how I built a 100-person law firm in 2 years after I sold my first law firm, which I went from 0 to 40 people in 2 years. I had the unique privilege, actually, and I say this with complete humility, but not false modesty, of being named in the influencers in law in the state of New Jersey with some managing partners of some of New Jersey's biggest firms just this past week. And that's not done by accident. And all of these things, I didn't speak in Belgium, and we didn't create 250 new people who emailed us during the talk and said, yeah, we want to talk to you about what's happening. It's not because I'm the smartest guy in the world. It's because there's a mechanism, just like if you become the greatest baseball pitcher, the greatest crocheter, the greatest person at playing jacks or cards, there's a skill set of how that works. And taking that time to learn that skill set creates a completely different paradigm of financial, of time freedom, magic, and impact. And you're all extraordinary, and Jessica, I could feel your heart, your skill, your intention. And yeah, I know you're building stuff and you're doing beautiful work by all the different ecosystems you can emerge with. I heard your bio, talking about working with the bar in different ways. Those are all brilliant things. So all the best and congratulations on all of it. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anna, how was your time with us in Final on the Heart of Influence? Please.
It was great. It was different than any meeting I've ever been to, so it was a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to runway training. Looking forward to that. We'll have some fun, and appreciate you being here today. Joe, Mr. Mayor, I love your directness. I love your energy. Clearly, you take it on, make it happen, brother. Thank you for being here today. How was your time with us today, Joe?
Thank you guys for having me participate. Appreciate it. I've enjoyed myself. Look, I'm a young guy. I'm 34 years old, so I'm not married to a particular way of doing things. And what I'm hearing here today is kind of a heightened level of thoughtfulness in how you engage with others. And so I can appreciate that perspective and take that with me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. My dear co-host, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts are incredible show today. And, to piggyback off what Joe just said, I don't know if you guys know Tony Robbins, like him or not, but Tony Robbins did say in a room full of 300 people that there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. If you don't know what he's up to, then you want to know. And there are 4 steps, 4 energies, and 12 indispensable elements. So I invite you back to find out what they are.
Yeah. So if this is the end, we thank you for being here. Wonderful job for very courageous participants,
Yes.
Robert and Jessica. Great job, Anna, Joe, Joshua. Thank you so much for continuing to work through getting unmuted. And Joe, beautiful job in the scenario that Robert created. Couldn't appreciate you guys more, but in all my heart, I quit my job, $100,000 in debt, going blind at 27 years old, 6 months out of law school, to find that if there was actually a way, a science, and a process that felt right, felt integrous to gain freedom. And I'm sitting in the first beach house that I bought 2 years later. I've owned this house since 1999. And I was mind blown by how little I was taught going to an Ivy League undergrad, Columbia University, and graduating Seton Hall Law School with honors, like one of our participants here, how I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. And I want to help people suffer less and create more acceleration in the things they want in their life, that monetary freedom, time freedom, and the magic and impact. I've had the privilege of raising millions of dollars for charity. And I don't mean by, distant fundraisers. I mean in 3 hours in a room, 2.6 million a couple of weeks ago. I had the privilege of raising 1.7 million in a different room, in one afternoon. And those mechanisms are because we create integrous value together, not because we tell great sob stories, but how do we figure out how to put value together with people to create leverage? And this is what the geniuses of all time, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, like these people or not, Oprah Winfrey, they have created value. And how do we do that as professionals to build the life and business we want? That's the study of my life. Thank you for participating in it today. The Heart of Influence, show 550-ish, we don't have the exact count, is in the books, and you're a part of it, and you've contributed this beautiful legacy. Thank you. This is the end. Wes, all the best. Hopefully it's just the beginning. Take the call from my partners, and let's go make magic happen. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.